Hello and welcome to another edition of the Peninsula Biz Buzz, brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce here on the Peninsula. My name is Shelley Smith, proud owner of Premier Rapport, where everything is workplace culture, as well as a board member for the Peninsula Society of Human Resources, and of course the illustrious president of the Chamber is on as well, Bob McKenna. And Bob, why don't you tell us the good news and introduce our great guest today?
All right, so the latest episode of Peninsula Biz Buzz. How do you like that name, Jeff?
No, I love the name. Biz
Comes
Buzz.
trippingly off the
Biz
tongue.
Buzz. Peninsula Biz Buzz. So our latest episode is with one of the coolest guys on the peninsula, Jeff Johnson. So Jeff and I met probably 8 or 9 months ago, and immediately I said, I got to work with that guy because 1, he's cool, 2, he's smart, and 3, he is the director of Tech Center Research Park, which in my mind and just kind of instinctually, I think will be the center of all activity of this economic boom that we're getting ready to experience on the peninsula. And how's that for an introduction, Jeff?
Bob, you are too kind. That's unbelievable. You and Shelley have gotten this down. That's perfect. Hey, thanks again for those humbling remarks, man. I guess I'll have to buy you coffee later.
Sounds good. When you get home.
Exactly.
So Jeff, tell everybody where you're at right now, because you just did a speaking gig, you said, but tell them where you're at.
I did. Right now I'm calling you from Georgia Tech at the International Association of University-Based Research Parks. This is the largest gathering of research parks from all around the country and around the world, as a matter of fact, who come and learn about how we can catalyze entrepreneurial ecosystems, share best practices to help us all grow and be successful in our regions, wherever we are in the world or in the country. And so I just had an opportunity to come and talk about what we're doing there back home at the Tech Center Research Park and what we hope to achieve and while we're working hard to make that happen. So it's a great honor, and it's great to be able to talk with you from here in Georgia Tech in Atlanta.
That's awesome. Hey, I lived in the ATL for a while, so and I'll be back there again in a couple of weeks, so I love it. Everything Peachtree, everything Peachtree. So everything. So Jeff, I have to say, when you talked about where you are and what you're doing and what you talked about today, you like went into this zone. You got serious, you got, very precise about it. So clearly you're passionate about it. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself for people who are not familiar with you, and definitely your role and how you got into this?
Well, if my passion comes through, it's authentic. I really love what I do. I sit, and it's taken me my whole career to be able to say that I sit at the intersection of the community, education, and profitable growth for companies. And this role I'm in now lets me tap all 3 of who I am and what I do and what I'm about. Awesome. And that's why you hear the passion in my voice. I came to this, again, I spent my career in large corporations, from majority and senior positions in large corporations. I became passionate about profitable growth and how companies succeed. Wanted to translate that into smaller companies and really say that, you didn't have to be big to be successful. And so I wanted to bring that to smaller companies, which is when I started working with smaller companies to help them grow and succeed. Both of my kids came to Virginia. We were in Cleveland and Akron area of Ohio at the time. They came to go to school at my alma mater at Virginia Tech. And it was great. So I wanted to follow them here. I got an opportunity to come and stand up and work with great people like W.M. Jordan Company, the city of Newport News, and Virginia Tech, to stand up this thing called the Tech Center Research Park, and which didn't exist when I got here. And now we're really excited about how far we've come. We know we got a long way to go, but Shelley, I'm really excited about it. So if you hear that in my voice, that's why.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Well, Bob, over to you.
And that's, Jeff, so when I said you're really cool, you're really smart, that's what I saw initially way back when, I think the first time we had a meeting at Jefferson Lab, or at the city of Newport News talking about Jefferson Lab. But so Shelley, here's something you don't know about Jeff. he is also a parishioner at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So that's something
No.
that the three of us have in common. So that's the first time I saw
That
Jeff.
is correct.
Was at Mass at OLMC with his beautiful wife and his two beautiful daughters too. But
That's exactly right.
So you have degrees from Tulane, right? Is that right? Tulane and Virginia Tech?
Yeah. Yeah. Again,
so what do you root for if they're playing each other?
Oh, clearly everybody knows it's your undergrad that matters. Nothing matters. So Tulane was graduate school, right? That was business school. I was already an adult then, but my formative years I have to attribute to Virginia Tech, and what a great university. Everybody thinks their university is great, but I tell you what, when you meet Hokies, they're really good people, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to go to Virginia Tech. So I did my undergrad, finished in chemistry. So I have an undergrad in chemistry, and I got my MBA at the Freeman School of Business down at Tulane. I wanted to see how ideas impact, how ideas go from idea to impact. And I wanted to frame myself around that whole continuum, which is what you hear and see, and which is really what I'm about.
Okay, so here's the next phase, and that's a good segue. Vision and ideas. Tell us the vision of Tech Center. So how did that start? And what has it evolved to? And tell us why it's so important that Virginia Tech is here working with you, or we're working for Virginia Tech. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it started. You have to attribute the vision for Tech Center to Johnny Lawson at WM Jordan.
Another Hokie.
He is a Hokie. I mean, he is the truest sense of Hokie, and he loves his hometown. His hometown is Newport News and the Hampton Roads area. And he saw the work that Joe Meredith and John Dooley did down at Virginia Tech. You know, just think about it. On a plateau between Allegheny and Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia, we have over 3,000 tech jobs created, where we have over 230 acres with 36 buildings, over 1 million square feet of tech and innovation jobs sitting on the plateau between the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Blue Ridge and Allegheny Mountains. Unbelievable. So Johnny really had a vision for the peninsula, and specifically where it is in Newport News. And he said, well, why can't we do one of those there? And so he really took the risk and made the investment to do it. And again, our leadership at Virginia Tech, you know, was more than happy to participate and help deploy what we've learned about these things called research parks and innovation districts, and how they can change a whole community and a region. So that's really where the vision started. And then I was fortunate enough to come on and to help, you know, turn that vision into a reality.
Jeff, can you tell us a little bit more about your role specifically, and who it is that you're looking to connect to, and maybe why, and maybe the listeners can also be able to pipe in or comment in and help connect?
Yeah, so what we really want to do is catalyze the entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem in Hampton Roads and in Newport News. So they just don't catalyze themselves. To create the kind of vitality that we read about and hear about in places, you know, everybody talks about Silicon Valley, but there are places closer to us, like Raleigh-Durham. If you haven't been back to Raleigh-Durham, look how that place has transformed itself. Again, we have the blessing, if you will, Bob, we have the blessing of having 2 federal labs within 10 miles of each other with $1 billion. That's $1 billion of investment in innovation and R&D. That's NASA Langley for our listeners. That's NASA Langley and the Jefferson National Lab. So for me, not to mention the entrepreneurs that are around in and around Hampton Roads and all of the leaders we have there and the great companies we have. So my role is to try to catalyze this entrepreneurial ecosystem to really build a place where companies can land and grow, and that this growth can turn into additional jobs and vitality for our area. And so I'm working really hard with our partners at WM Jordan and even Colliers as well to help us curate the kinds of people who can be in the place in terms of tenants and the kind of culture we want to create. And I wanted to stress that word, the culture we want to create, a culture of vitality, a culture of diversity, a culture of inclusion. And I'm talking about various dimensions of each one of those words. And that's what one of my big roles are. We're way beyond real estate. It is about creating culture. That actually was what my speech was about here and what we talked about. And you find communities around the nation trying to do the same thing right now. And we're all working hard to build that culture that creates that vitality that ignites our nation and helps us differentiate ourselves in the world and continue to grow and be successful.
Okay, so two things about what you just said. Shelley got a big smile on her face. I don't know if you noticed it when you said culture, because Shelley is a culture curator. That's what she does. So she's right on board with you. That's why I'm surprised you guys have not yet met. But the other thing was you're talking about Raleigh-Durham, and I just got back from Raleigh-Durham. I was down on the interregional visit, and they talk about all the research dollars that they have down there at the universities, right? NC State, Duke, North Carolina, and that's what they have that we don't have. And I think that we have our own little research triangle here, and you just described that very well, I thought. So all the R&D dollars that are going into the 2 federal labs, and the Tech Center Research Park being the place that brings that all together. But we also have universities here. So we've got all, like you said, blessings, gifts, assets. We've got everything we need here. We just have to curate the culture.
Well, we have to pull it together. I love what you said. Now, remember, here's what's cool about what you just said. I'm here next to the guy that's running the Research Triangle Park right now. And we are side by side, which is the beauty of being able to do what we do, is we get to learn from each other. He's learning from me, I'm learning from him. And we are really focused on creating this culture. We're focused on creating this innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem, both here and if you think about places like that, because there's a lot we can learn from each other. So you're absolutely correct. And we do have, I repeat, we do have the necessary ingredients to be successful, period. And no one's going to tell me any different. I've seen it myself. And now we're going to help and do everything we can to leverage it with the help of the listeners and all of the people who are really focused on driving our region forward on both sides of the tunnel.
Are there things that you can tell us that you're working on from a strategic standpoint over the next 12 months, kind of what your 2020 goals are?
Yeah, I think, Shelley, when you talk about culture, one of the things we have to do is, of course, in the spring, well, let me go back. In August, we cut the ribbon on our first research park building. It's a huge building. It's unbelievably beautiful. Clark Nexon was our architect. They did a fantastic job with it, led, of course, by the construction departments and development departments at W.M. Jordan. That place is drop dead gorgeous. We have only 2,000 square feet left in that building. And now we are focused on really curating the tenants for building 2. So if you think about our focus, Shelley, we're focused on now developing more space for companies to land and grow. In addition to that, we're focused on driving awareness and driving events to the tech center. And so we want people to come and be a part of building 1, Bob. We want people to come be part of what we're building. When people are part of the ground floor of something, they take ownership with it and they'll help me do it. Yeah. And so we will focus, Shelley, on having as many events as we can. One of our tenants in our building 1 is Gather. I don't know if you've got a chance to see the Gather space or talk to owners, Polly or Doug.
We just did a podcast with Savannah Boland.
Yeah.
Okay, and Savannah, who's your community regional manager, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So if you think about it, we want to bring additional awareness and bring additional people down into, so we can build out the vitality of what is Tech Center. This is the early stages. So This is how things get ignited. We got to hang in there. We got to pull them together, and you're going to see things like this podcast and others to help us get the word out. Come take a tour at Tech Center. Call us up. We're easy to reach. Call or text, innovate@techcenterva.com. Just come out and check us out.
Beautiful.
We're here to help, Jeff.
I appreciate it too. I think we all appreciate it.
I'm a big fan, and we're doing an event on December 6th with Gather, Spotlight on the Peninsula. And we're going to start bringing some of our committees and councils that meet here at the Chamber to have meetings over there at Gather.
Absolutely.
So I'll be in touch with you about that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, we have a whole third floor. We put in a conference room that can be used as well. We want to bring as many people as we can to the Tech Center Research Park so they can see it. And they're seeing it at the beginning. They've done a fantastic job. We got a ways to go. And one of the things we want to do to catalyze this ecosystem is let's get some people there. Let's have some meetings there. Let's have some gatherings there. It's very easy to do. We work very closely together, all of us.
Outstanding. Well, that first event, the ribbon cutting that you did was just high class. I mean, you had President Sands there, you had Mayor Price and John Lawson, and who else? Brian Ball and some famous basketball player from UVA, Ralph Sampson, I think, was there. But it was an amazing event. You saw the community, everybody that you're trying to bring together, they were all there. So they saw it. Now we need to start bringing them in for more meetings.
Exactly. Let's bring more people in. I mean, the idea of the ribbon cutting, we're really glad everybody came out to support that. But it's the beginning, and we want them to feel comfortable in the space. We want the community to feel comfortable in the space. And so as we start to develop this, you're going to see us connected. So we're not an island. We're not just trying to create this. We are a node. And we're a node that will connect to other nodes in other parts of the region, and you're going to see us connect the entire region. We have a bigger vision. We really do. And we need you and the audience and others to help us catalyze it. Come be a part of it.
Beautiful. Bob,
Sure.
any final closing comments before we put a wrap?
So I slipped Ralph Sampson's name in there. Is there anything you can tell us about why Ralph was there?
No, I mean, like anybody else, we're working with a number of entrepreneurs. We'll work with entrepreneurs both early stage and at whatever stage they're in, and people like Mr. Sampson and others are working on their business, and they're seeing and being attracted to the kind of amenities and the kind of value proposition we have at a research park. So you'll see many more. The idea is there are many people with less notoriety who are doing some really great things, and we want to give them a place to land and grow. So Bob, stay tuned. Let's do more.
Outstanding. I'm ready. Shall we?
Jeff, is there anything that you wanted us to ask that we didn't ask you?
No, I think the most important things, you guys really hit on them. We really are focusing on driving awareness. If there are businesses or if there are people with ideas, we want to hear about them. I listen to so many ideas from so many people, and what you've learned is ideas are not exclusive to certain people. Everybody has an idea or a way to do something better. And what we want to be able to do is give it a platform for where we can actually help it grow. So any way you can get the word out, please help us do that. We want to hear about ideas. We want to help ideas grow. We want to help businesses grow. And we really want to catalyze the entrepreneurial ecosystem, not only on the peninsula, but in the region.
Would love to see you guys bring a TED Talks, TEDx platform into the space to be able to, I just think that that's another way to be able to showcase some of those ideas and some people that live right here in the area that would be incredible speakers. So I don't know if you've thought about that, but you definitely have the space in order to do that. So we have, okay.
And we have a little bend on it. They're called Tech Talks.
Okay.
TECH.
That's fair. That's cool. All right.
The same kind of framework. It's about 20 minutes or so, if that much. But the difference here, Shelley, to get out, what we want to do is we want to hear from entrepreneurs and innovators who develop their technology or innovation to certain readiness levels, okay? That readiness level may not be enough for investors yet. It may need seed growth. It may need product designers. It may need marketers. It may need financial planners. It may need, you can see, we want to surround them with the kind of people who can help them move that technology down the continuum. And a tech talk is the way we would catalyze doing that. So stay tuned. And I'm going to ask you live on air to help us with that. We need people like you to help us get the word out. Let's frame these tech talks. Let's build on them and let's have them. I want to have 6 a year. And we've got a place to have them not only at our new facility at 700 Tech Center Boulevard, or we can do it at Gather. We're partnering with them to do it as well. But we want to have these tech talks, and we want to convince and showcase our entrepreneurial and innovation spirit that we have. And we need your help to do it. So, yes, I agree with you.
Sounds like a good call to action. So
let's do it.
How do people get in contact with you again directly? What's the best way?
Best way is through the web, of course, at innovate at techcenterva.com. I know it's long, but it makes sense. And then you can always pick up the phone and call. That's at 757-532-9597. We answer our own phones, and we respond to all emails. So if you call us or email us get in touch with us at the website, we'd love to hear from you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us today on behalf of myself and, of course, our guests and Bob McKenna, the president of the Chamber. We are signing off, and we hope that you stay tuned for the next episode. And, of course, comment, share, like, add questions. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good day.
We got it.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks.